I want to start with the professionalism movement, and in particular, the Chief Justice's Commission on Professionalism. This obviously was a topic that you thought was one of the important ones. How did that come about? How did you become convinced that this was something that, as a justice on the court and as chief, that you should be promoting?
Well, really, it started with me in a different way. I got a phone call one day years ago from one of my schoolmates in law school, and said that he was a lawyer, and of course, and his wife was too, and she was held some office with the well, I forget what they called the organization, but they dealt with anyway. It was a lawyers organization, and wanted to know if I would come and speak to them. It was a national thing, and she was one of the leaders in it. The wife was, and said, "Would they were going to have a meeting, a meeting, and would I come speak to them on the subject of, I don't know what they called it, professionalism." On the telephone call, he said that they would pay our expenses if I'd come out there. And I said, "Well, where's it going to be?" And he said, "It's going to be in Pebble Beach, California." And I said to myself, I think I can go do that. And what he wanted to talk about is, I don't know what he called it, but it really was the beginnings of for me, with the subject of professionalism. So I wrote a speech for it, and I can't find that speech now, but it's in a nutshell, it's another one that I'll talk about in a minute. So I wrote the thing and did just sort of put it in the files. And one day I was talking to one of my colleagues, and we were talking about professionalism. And I said, "By the way, let me show you this thing." And it was Charlie Welton knows who it was. And Charlie said, "Well, why don't you take it and write it in a different approach?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it's a good idea." So I did, and it was published in the Georgia Bar Journal. And I got interested in it, and Charlie did, and the then chief, Justice Marshall, who also had an interest in it. And then he arranged to get the president of Emory to sponsor a little meeting one afternoon in this wintertime. I remember that about it. And we talked, had a number of top-notch lawyers to talk about it. And then it was decided that night, I think we had dinner there, and that night it was decided that we would try to put together an organization. And the first way of putting it together would be to have some sort of statewide meeting, and it was held in Macon. We would put together a meeting, and there would be a topic. There would be, what is there more than just making money? What is there more to the law practice than just making money? And that seemed to catch on pretty well. And then we decided we'd have smaller meetings around the state. And it just caught on. It's been a great thing for the state, I think. And of course, what's happened then is we began to get calls from all over the United States. I've been to New Mexico, California, all sorts of places where people from the other states wanting to know how they can put theirs together. And other people have come to, leaders have come to Georgia to figure out how they can profit by such an effort.
Why do you think the Georgia Commission has been so successful? It has had effect nationwide, continues to be a leader in the professionalism movement. What is it about what Georgia has done that has made that possible?
Probably part of that is probably just sheer luck, that you happen to have a group of people who are willing to work on it and had the ability to do something about it. I remember that when today we were talking about money, and the first person to come up with the idea and was Jim Elliott. And Jim said, look, we'll go to CLE people and get it done. And they were happy to do it. And but I don't know that that Georgia was any different. Somehow we just caught what's the word? The spark.